Okay, so here's the first part printing out. Oh, by the way, how do I cool background music? This is sci-fi music for your enjoyment. If you're watching it out. This is the front of the ship printing out right now on the Prusa. Onto the second piece, the main body of the ship. This took, I think, 15 hours to print, so I can bore you with all the details there. That is, and now comes cleanup time. We gotta clean this model. So the whole key here is to have the right tools. Don't put too many supports on it. Something I learned while making this model. It saves a lot of time, and the model looks better. Lining it up, making sure it's gonna go together. Here's some other pieces, more toward the back of the ship, right in front of the reactor. This is directly in front of the reactor and the landing skid. See all the supports there to bring out, because the top half of that skid has a bar across it, so it won't sag. And more cleanup time to clean this stuff out. Like I say, the right tool is perfect for doing this kind of stuff. Try not to cut your hands off when you're doing it. Get the supports out. This is the piece right in front of the reactor on the back of the ship. Fitting it up, make sure it fits okay. And this is, you can see all the supports. This is the reactor itself, I believe. Yeah, it is. Reactor. These supports, the top of the bottom, these supports there, so that's easy to clean off. And there's directly in front of the reactor, the skid, taking the supports off the skid. Gotta do that. They come right off pretty easy if you do it right. A little trimming. Clean that reactor up. See, the supports almost fell off before I even took them off on this one. They came right off real nice. Fitting it up. What's it going to look like? When we get the orientation right, you got it. There you go. The engines. This, I believe, is the rear engines. The rear of the engines. No, it's the front. It's the front of the engines. Left to right. Clean them up. Pretty easy. Not too many supports. Only in the main crossbeam there. Mounting crossbeam to the engine. To need supports. Here's the rear of the engines. And you see the thing in the front, that's the reactor control room there. And it failed on this print. You can see it's all over the place. And I printed it out again vertically. Printed it out beautiful. So there's the rear of the engines. Cleaning nozzles up, and they got some supports inside there to clean out. Hope it fits up the front of the engine. Yep, it does. And there's the reactor control room. Orients on top like that. You can see the difference between the two of them. The first one it failed, printed horizontally, and then the second one on the top there printed vertically and printed out perfect. And now it's time to glue it together, the most stressful time, because the glue sets up pretty fast. Gluing the first piece here. And I fit it up. I didn't realize how quick it set up, so I tried to position myself. And when I put it there, it wasn't quite lined up, and it set up. And you can see in the final model it did set up. It's got a small ridge line there, but I don't think it's going to be too noticeable because of the weathered paint look that it has on it when it's finished. There's the accelerator. As soon as you spray that on it, it sets that glue instantly. It's amazing stuff. Trying to hold the pieces together. And now I had another brilliant idea where I positioned the pieces, then put the glue on the outer perimeter because it's so strong, it's all you need. It's not going to hold any weight. And then spray the accelerator and it instantly sets. You can take the piece out. This is called a pan of ice. It's a pretty cool device. I got a couple attachments and it's really versatile for holding stuff in any angle you want to hold it in. So you can glue it where you need to glue it at and get it just right. When you have it just right, more just right. Come on, it's good. Good enough. Looks like you missed it. I sprayed it with the accelerator and I'm wiping the accelerator off. So far, so good. It's not the perfect model, but it's the first one I ever built. So. Alright. We're going to glue the engines on. The engines had a weird mating surface because they printed vertically, so the sides of the print were the mating surfaces for the beams that hold the engine to the main body. There's the control room, back to that. Get that on there, glued up in place. Yeah, see, I had to fix these seams up. I used a knife edge on a wood burning device, which I used to cut the plastic and trim plastic. It works really well for this plastic. This is PLA. Get a position in the device. Don't drop it. Do not drop that. There you go. Good job. Alright, now we have it cleaned up pretty good. Gonna have to doctor it up with putty. You can see I'm melting it there and breathing in the toxic fumes. It's always good. That fits a little better, I think. Alright, put some glue on there. Why don't we overdo it so we'll never get it apart again. That's enough. Alright, position it. And this accelerator is instantaneous. I mean, you can have a 1/4 inch of glue and it solidifies instantly, that accelerator, which is pretty amazing. It's really good when doing stuff like this. You don't have to worry about holding the thing in place until the glue sets up and you leave your hand off and it moves, and that doesn't happen with this. So. Get in there, Shawnee. Get in there. Can't talk. Okay, I can talk again. That was the voice. So, okay, here we go. We're going to fill these seams up. Literally fill them up with glue as best we can, because you can use it for a filler. And just spray the accelerator, and it's instantaneous. Hands in the way. We can't see. Move your hand. There you go. Accelerator. And the wipe down. Alright. It's starting to look a little bit like the ship now, hopefully, because it's all together, I think. Now we're going to putty it up. Got this plastic putty that's water soluble, so you can put it on. Tedious job. Spread it around with the putty knife best you can. And then I can use a, see, I have a Q-tip in my hand, dipped in water, and I can kind of shape the putty. See the seams, how screwed up they were? I needed a lot of putty for that. So, and some of the engines, the one side didn't quite mate. I had to putty that. Get rid of that seam. Yeah, it looks good. It's enough. Put it down. Put it down. There you go. Now the best, my favorite part, not sanding. Oh, and sanding. And more sanding. Even though I have the right sandpaper, it's still, this is the part I hate. So the important part is when you put the putty on, to get it the best you can, and with that water soluble I was able to shape it, minimize that sanding nonsense that I hate. Look how fast I can go. Pretty fast. That's cool. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Wipe it down with tack cloth. Get all the sand dust off of it. The plastic dust from the sanding. Wipe it down real good. And here it is, finished, ready for painting. A quick look at it. This is gold colored PLA filament, 1.75 millimeters, and it's made by Zero. $15 roll, pretty good pretty cheap filament. It took about 1 1/4 rolls, a little over a kilogram, to make this ship. The ship has about 20% infill, I guess. Made a little hanger out of a coat hanger. The ceiling, that little spray booth in the back. A little too small for this thing, so I tried to put it as close as I could. And we're going to primer it all down. First time using the airbrush. Never used an airbrush before, so it was pretty easy. Wasn't too bad. Sprayed pretty well. This is a bottom siphon airbrush. Spraying it down, getting that primer up. This was the best thing I ever did. I'm glad I primered this because this made the top coats look much nicer. It probably would have been horrible if I wouldn't have primed it. But watch some YouTube videos and everybody recommends primering your model. Put some top coats on it. Need more light. Like I have these portrait lights I use for photography, and brought them in and they worked actually pretty good. Sit down in the chair because I can't bend down. Too old for that. So we'll sit down and do the rest of this. Finishing the primer up. I don't know what I'm doing there. Okay, now we're putting the top coat of pearlized gray on top of the primer. Good coat, base coat. This is going to be the base color of the whole ship. And you can paint it up here. Good. Now, I had some pictures to go by. A couple were ridiculous pictures, but there was some good ones there. The one is from the movie itself, I think, to show itself. And I tried best I could with my limited abilities, first time airbrushing and don't have one artistic bone in my body, to try to make some of the colors match in the pictures. Sort of like drawn by a professional artist. There's already too much black in the back of the engine, but whatever. It is what it is. It'll still come out okay, hopefully. So we're putting black throughout the model, here and there, trying to make it look weathered. Took another airbrush, a different type of airbrush. For the small amount of paint. I think this is silver I'm putting on there now. Over top of the black and the gray. And we got some bronze color. Copper bronze, I think it's bronze. Or gold, something like that. Putting over top of the other stuff. Just trying to layer and make it look like it was, I don't know, in the space in the battle. I don't know. Fired up by the Reavers and they survived. And here's the battle scars. Some bronze. Now we're going to put some brown. I didn't like the brown, I didn't put too much on. Sprayed very well either, so put a little bit of brown on there. And covered most of the spots with painted brown. So very well. And now some more, a different kind of, this is more of a yellowish or gold, I guess. That other one was bronze. So much more yellow. And now we got the, I forget what this color is, but it's a really cool color. I thought it was good for the engines, to simulate the heat of the engines. And also we're going to see more black here. We're going to do this. Some black. Put black on top of the other colors. Trying to blend them and make it more layered. Now this is almost as fun as sanding it. This little brush, which I thought I would never have the patience to do, but each one of these little reactor holes I had to paint. This is a pretty cool color actually. Came out pretty good. It looks like heat. It's supposed to simulate heat in the reactor. So I had to print it. The Pan of Ice, see, the Pan of Ice works perfect for this kind of stuff. Can position it in a way. Look at this. Without that, I don't know what I would have did. I had to hold the model, prop it up. Would have been paint all over the place. So it worked out really well. Took maybe an hour. Did it twice to do the reactor and the front of it. To brush it best I could. Taking out, you can see that long vise thing for the Pan of Ice there. It's pretty cool. I think this is the second time around. Pretty good overhead shot. Had to do the overhead shot. Got to do that. A gratuitous overhead shot. Hard at work. Finishing touches. I guess this is almost the final bit of paint.
She wanted braces, and over the weekend her family delivered. Watch this.
clearance lights. I painted all the clearance lights just like the picture. I got red and green on port and starboard engines. It has some white clearance lights all over the ship, the bottom and front of the ship.
Here it is. Finished Firefly Serenity ship.
And there I am talking about the ship.
Good it's gonna get.
Here we see it. Yeah, we got it.
Pretty good for the first time printing this out, painting it up.
Yeah, first time I got it. We got it.
Not okay.
Nice to have a light in the shot like that. And here we go. Here's the final ship. Painted up. Wanted to put it through in the studio here and do a little 360 on it. So yeah, if you're still with us, then you're probably gonna look at the whole thing, because I keep this on the full 360. It's got so many hours. I would say maybe took all told 80 hours, maybe 60, maybe not quite 80 hours. About 2 weeks maybe to do the whole thing, between printing it out and painting it. A lot of learning along the way, so. But that's pretty much it. And here's some still pictures of the ship. There we have, it's an overhead shot. You can see the layered paint. Doesn't look as weathered as the picture did, but it came out okay. See, the control room has a little red dot on it there, and the engines. A close-up shot. It came out pretty good. All in all, it came out pretty good. Thanks for watching.